a lot of times when I'm listening to the podcast, I joke about it being the most enjoyment I get out of disagreeing with almost every opinion that gets said.
That's great. Man, welcome back, or welcome for the first time, like I always say. It's been a pretty weird week. Hurricane Ian has pushed up Florida and messing stuff up down there, and it's raining here in North Carolina right now. Slow week in news, but we do have a special guest, Mr. Dennis Glover. Yay!
You need no Glover. You suck. You chickened out at the last minute.
No.
I heard last time.
You did.
Time. I'm going to call Glover the whole time. I'm going to call him Glover.
You did.
Yeah, all right.
We did. I did say that. I'm not gonna. I can't take that back. That's out there in the universe right now.
Squash the beef.
Yeah, I'm trying to squash that whole beef, man. I'm trying to reset the universe, man. Get my karma right because it's been jacked up lately. But welcome to the show, my man. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it's great. Secondly, I want to say, Rob, get back soon. I know those forest fires are still kicking your butt out there in Nevada. Megan, get to feeling better. Tasha, whatever you're doing, honey, I know you're having fun. So go ahead and handle your business. And J-Pat, man, live you, man. I know how life gets. But we got Terrence T-Money Simon back in the house. What's up, man?
I'm back. What up? Great to be back on this lovely Friday evening, or whenever you, the listeners, are out there listening to us.
That's what's up. Mike Adam came floating in.
Goddamn right. Welcome. That's what we do. Good evening, everybody. How's it going?
Great, man. Oh, and QP, the source wall himself. What's up?
Hey, I'm very happy to see Dennis here. Always enjoy communicating with Dennis despite what people may see. Always appreciate opinions.
You got your work voice on, don't you?
Yeah, this is I don't want to say where I work.
It's a code switch. You definitely code switched.
No, it's a frequency switch. I got to make sure you hear me. I got to switch up the frequency sometimes. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah, I got you, man.
I got to switch up the frequency there.
Got to give you hell. You know that, man. But let's jump this off, man. Let's go into Game of Thrones. It's starting to get kind of cool. They did a 10-year time jump, and it was cool. I mean, on a funny point, I don't think they aged very well because they don't look like they aged 10 years because they aged like 15. The dragons, pretty cool. One dragon had dreadlocks, which I thought was awesome. What's his name? The uncle. Mike's your favorite character, man.
Damon?
Mm-hmm. Damon finally kept it up for longer than 5 seconds and made 3 kids.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But overall, the episode was pretty cool.
Like 2.5. We counting that last
2.5, yeah, because they didn't quite get born, but he made it.
He made it.
He mid it.
He made it.
I made lots of food that didn't make it to a plate. That doesn't count.
God damn. Good point. Touche, sir.
Rough one.
Touche. Oh man, but I think it's doing pretty good. I think that she has what's her name? Rhaenyra got all them little dark haired babies running around, and her stepmom was having a fit. So she's like, "We're leaving. We're moving. We're put the tires back on the trailer. We're gonna move out of this park." So I enjoy the way it's going. I mean, comparing this to Rings of Power, this show is all about no hope, and Rings of Power is all about hope. And I don't know, man. I dig it. I've been hooked on it. Now they finally got a whole lot of dragons, and now Damon has to figure out how to do hair all by himself. So we'll figure that out as we go. Terrence, you caught up, man?
Nah, at this point, I'm just going to wait till the season's over, see if I can get the wife on board, and we'll just watch it straight on through.
All right. Dennis, what do you think of so far, man?
I'm all caught up on it. I'm enjoying it a lot more now than I did when it started. when it first started, I thought it was kind of like a bland remake of Game of Thrones. It didn't have that same kind of like gritty, dirty, mean spirit that Game of Thrones started with, and I was like nervous about where it was going. And it kind of picked up. Definitely that last episode with the rough delivery and the dragon, without trying to give too much stuff away. That dragon looks scary as hell. That's the coolest looking dragon I've seen on that show yet.
With the dreads flapping.
Yeah.
My wife was like,
old and beat up.
Yeah, a lot of miles.
That's what I look like when I get out of the shower in the morning.
Oh,
just dirty and gross.
That'll put me to bed tonight, Dennis. I appreciate that, my man.
You're welcome. You know, we can't have Thor cakes on every episode, but we got something. But no, I'm really liking how it's growing, and the time jump is not as like jarring as I thought it was going to be. I think it's been handled pretty nice. The people that are taking over those roles are doing a good job of continuing the characters without it seeming like it's completely different people.
Yeah.
And that, I think, was something I was nervous about in the beginning, but turns out to be handled really well.
Yeah, I dig it. I was when I say they didn't age well, but I got to remember that this is like Game of Thrones time. They grow up quick because they're trying to marry 9-year-olds off. So they start to age very fast. And on a funny note, it's like even the brothers got old. They don't get old. It's like, what's up with that? I don't care. That's a dry joke. I'm gonna keep it anyway. But Mike, man, what do you think?
I liked it. I did. The dragon again. I guess they're showing different species of dragons. I thought that was very interesting. Damon makes every episode for me. He really does make it all worth it for me. Let's think about what else. The one thing I didn't really care for, again, I love it, but Rhaenyra and Sir Lanier or Lanner, however you say his name, they didn't even try to make a baby. They I mean, they didn't even try to fake it. They could at least try to fake it. They could have had a bullshit threesome. Okay, you ready? Okay, put it in real quick. They could have did something. There's ways they could have worked around.
Real quick.
I mean, just for real. He could have had his boyfriend over here to the side. Let's make one quick baby, and then maybe two, and then y'all go do y'all thing. They didn't even try to fake it. You know,
that's true. Maybe her husband.
Yeah, I was wondering why didn't they shave them kids' heads?
Yeah,
something.
The queen wanted to see them babies as soon as they popped out. She walking down the hallway dripping blood. So the queen was on it. You know, they could at least try to make it work. They just blatant, you know.
Yo, yeah. And the ex-boyfriend is a bitch, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's his name, sir?
Kristen Cole.
Kristen Cole, that guy. He got it one time and lost his mind.
That's what I was saying last week. Act like you've been there, man.
I mean, for real, man.
That's unacceptable. That's going on 10 years.
Yeah, you still mad? Come on, dude.
Shoving kids around. It's like, what are you doing, bro?
Over one? Come on, dude.
Over one nut.
Yeah, that's a lot.
He just mad because she drank that tea because he was good with his stroke, and she drank the tea and got rid of it.
You know, if it was even we don't know if it was anything there, but she did drink the tea, but still, he just mad. Angry. 10 years from one time. Get over it. And she still was like, you know, you can be my man. Just you can't be my husband. You can be my man.
Yeah.
Right. But like I said, she could at least try to hide it. You know, the baby's better, but it is what it is on that. But I mean, they could have. They worked it out somehow. But, hey. Well, other than that, I got no real problem with it. I'm still surprised how the king is alive. He's losing pieces every episode. You know?
Oh yeah, he ain't got no arm now, does he?
Yeah, he got no arm. He looks like the Crypt Keeper. The dude looks rough. He's still hanging in there.
Well. Yeah.
No, it ain't being king of King's Landing. Westeros would do that. Westeros will age the shit out of you. So
Westeros and kids, man.
That's
Westeros
it.
And kids.
You caught up, Q?
Oh yeah. The show is. I like it. I really do. It's turned into a soap opera. Like really, like it's like an hour of pettiness.
That's Game of Thrones, though.
Yeah, but it's just like there's no dispute over any. There is, but it's not at the forefront where people are at war over the crown or anything. Like they were really just tripping about who she was sleeping with last episode, and that
Hmm.
was like 20 minutes. And the dad, he's like, "Oh, everything's okay." He's not even going to acknowledge anything. We saw that last episode, but it's good. I can't wait for the fighting to actually start. I wanted to see how all these alliances are going to work out. Um, I'm curious about Damon, where he's going to be at in all this. I felt bad that his wife died. I really did,
I did
and
too.
it seemed like he was happy. Yeah, they were on tour, wherever they were doing, offering protection, or it seemed like he was good with that. No responsibilities, just burning boats and everything, which is cool.
Why?
Uh, but
Why is the husband, Rhaenyra's husband, not catching any smoke for anything?
I mean, I think I mean, why would he though? I mean,
Uh, Where's his
he's not the.
pops?
I
His
mean,
pops was like, yeah, maybe he grew out of it.
uh, well, I think they only really cared about the alliance, him, like those two being married and title and
Right.
everything. Like she's the
The houses
one.
are joined. There's nothing
Uh,
else for Dad to care about. He got what he wanted.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, got what
sorry.
he wanted, and the girl is the one that people are really worried about. She's the heir that people don't approve of, and
Because everybody knows she's the power.
yeah,
Nobody,
Yeah,
yeah,
nobody
like
looks at her husband and is like, "Oh man, we got to talk to that guy, get that guy on our side." They're like, "Nah, he's nothing. He's nothing."
nah,
yeah,
he's just trying
So
to
we need
take
to talk
down
to her.
everybody in Westeros, is what he's doing.
I mean,
So
he's basically just arm candy. That's basically what he is. Her
what they
husband
call
isn't that.
the beard. He's I don't
He's
know
not even good
who.
candy. He's like armed
Yeah.
Smarties.
Yeah, that's all he is. He's not. He doesn't have a real job. Just be
He
there.
is armed Necco wafers.
Stepdaddy. You
And
know.
she
So.
and she treats him good. Like she says,
Yeah,
you can
she
bring
does
your
try. She
boyfriend.
does try to make him.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
said,
you
"Your
can bring
kid."
your boyfriend.
even when they packed up, take your boyfriend with you. We're leaving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take your boyfriend.
But you're
Yeah.
gonna raise these kids though. But take your boyfriend with you. You're gonna help with it. But
God.
I got no. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry,
Well,
man.
they should have worked better on hiding them kids. That's my only point. They should have worked better on hiding that out.
Yeah, just
But
just get one skeet.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
on the girl, man. That's on the girl. She's the one popping them up. If she
Yeah,
don't care, her dad ain't saying nothing.
yeah.
Like I assume over time she just like whatever.
He
Don't be
just
too
driving.
graphic. Not to be too graphic. But put it on my stomach. I mean, there's other ways.
Oh,
Not to be too graphic, listeners, but y'all know. I'm just saying. I'm telling them. I'm just putting the thoughts out there. There's other ways to hide this.
Oh man, he out there riding around in her Nissan Altima while she at work. That's what he doing.
Exactly.
Shit.
They just
Oh
didn't
man.
try. She, like I said, she didn't care. She was like, Dad ain't gonna care either, so I'm not gonna care. So, all right.
all hell is gonna break loose though when her
Oh, it's
dad
on. Yeah,
dies. Though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing holding any
Didn't
semblance of I don't know, like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but as soon as he's gone, it's on.
didn't he fall
Yeah,
out getting out of the truck? No, before. That was before. Never mind. Never mind.
yeah. When he came back from the sea, I
Yeah,
forgot
back
sea
when he
dragon, sea eel,
promised his daughter away.
sea
Yeah.
snake.
the sea snake. Yeah, Lord Cordis.
Oh man. All right. Cool. Well, we're not. Well, I don't know if we want to give She-Hulk the time this week. It was a good
Give it to
episode.
him. It was a decent. At least
It was good. It was fun. I mean, I didn't mind it. I'm sure that I know the internet's ablaze because of the fact they still haven't shown Daredevil yet, but I don't care. I like the show. I like the fact that it was all about Jennifer this week, and it was fun. It's a great story, no matter what. So, Dennis, what do you think, man? You all caught up? Oh, well, you didn't watch it because you watch it with your kids.
I haven't watched the last one, but I'm caught up through there. And
Uh-huh.
I always liked the show. I liked She-Hulk as a character since she was the stand-in muscle for the Fantastic Four way back when. That's how long I've been reading them books. So the tone of the show has always been really matching the tone of anything she's been in for the books. Anything I've read with her, for sure, anything that featured her, has always been that kind of quirky, fun, not taking itself too seriously. And the show being like that, it matches. And that's what I like about it, is that it is true to the source material, for her at least. I know there's some tribulation about how some of the other characters are treated. Mr. Immortal looked like Mr. Immortal would expect to, but people mad about the Wrecking Crew. That's understandable, because they didn't like how that was represented. But for the most part, everything else in that show seems like She-Hulk.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you 100%. The Wrecking Crew was mishandled, but now that blip is gone, they showed up, and one guy's now in rehab, so now he's surfing the Ute. Mike, you caught up, man?
I am, sir. I actually watched it this afternoon. I actually forgot it was on, not because any disrespect to She-Hulk, but I'm in school too, so I forgot about it. So I knocked it out before the show. Like Dennis said, everything he said is right. If you read any She-Hulk comics or anything with her in it, it's pretty much like I've been saying since the beginning, what you would expect for it to be. There's no real surprises. You may not know the storyline is going, but how the character acts and how that they're the breaking the fourth wall and stuff is what you'd expect from the show. Any She-Hulk show. I don't trust him. I think the other shoe's going to drop, but I really want to see how what's going on with Blonsky. He's got the little cult thing going on. I really want to see what happens there. I ain't gonna say the cult, but whatever he's got going on, that's interesting to me. I don't understand how this guy got her blood. The guy Josh, I did.
She was a human.
But did he sneak it somehow? Did he poke her or something?
I don't know. They didn't see a syringe or anything.
Right, yeah. But he sent a little text like, I got it. Okay, how'd you get it? I didn't really understand that.
Hey, Mike, did Josh leave it on her stomach?
Maybe. Maybe. Some irradiated kids. I don't know.
Somebody snuck into She-Hulk's calendar and just saw every 28 days there was an opportunity.
Maybe. I don't know how he got it, but he's happy.
That went dark. That's funny, but dark.
But I like it. It is
what
no
injury involved there.
Right. Oh, T, man, I know you've been working a lot. Did you catch up on She-Hulk?
Nah, I'm behind on the last 2 episodes. I was on vacation last week and then came home, went right back into my work week, and pretty much just been watching shows with the wife. So just been watching Dahmer with her. I'm behind on all my genre stuff. So I'm just catching up on the shows through you guys right now.
Dig it. Quincy, what about you, man? I heard you defended She-Hulk, man.
Well, I like the actress. I mean, that's the only thing I've really felt strongly about the show. I think she's doing the best of what she has. She's the best part of the show when she's not She-Hulk to me. I mean, the show is just shenanigans and silliness, and that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that by anything negative. It's better, like I said, it's better than Miss Marvel, it's better than Moon Knight for me. So, like, there it is. That's all I got to say about it.
Say it again. It was better than what now?
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel and Moon Knight?
Yeah.
I agree 100%. It definitely is.
Moon Knight, I couldn't wait for that to end.
Moon Knight was painful. I didn't get the hype with everybody. This is great. No, it wasn't. No.
No, it was pure. It was bollocks, complete and total.
Oh, gigantic entities and afterlife, and he just turned around and shot him, and all they needed was a gun and some bullets. Apparently, put it into the threat. It's just a whole lot of, I don't know. I ain't like it. I don't ever have to see that show again.
Never. They actually took him out of the Marvel logo that shows up on the beginning of shows.
What?
They took Moon Knight out.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's not there anymore.
Good
Interesting
job.
fact.
Good job, guys. Good
job. We're not gonna go into Lord of the Rings. I'm still behind on that one, so we're gonna leave that one back.
I'm gonna get caught up on that one.
Lord of the Z's.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get. I want to, but I don't think I'm gonna get caught up. It's just not.
No, I'm coming back to it. It's not right now.
Yeah,
It's just,
I ain't
Not
promising
right
Lord of the
now.
Rings feels like homework. Like
It
you watch it just
exactly
to make
feels like
sure that
homework.
you understand what's going on, but not because you really love it or you're really into it. It's just like, yeah, I need to talk about this at some point, so I
That
gotta
is a
watch it.
perfect way to put that. It does seem like homework.
yeah.
Like I'm watching it just to talk to y'all about it, but I ain't really liking it. I'm just just so I can
I
have something to say.
I do like it. I like it. It's
I
just
don't.
it's a really slow burn. It's like a wet lighter. It's got to keep on flicking it.
I don't
I'm
see
still
when you
put
come
off
up with
by
some of
how
these sayings.
plain
Man.
everybody looks.
Yeah, I mean it's
Like in the
yeah.
movies, the elves looked otherworldly. They looked goofy. They looked weird. They looked like somebody you'd stare at if you saw them in a coffee shop. But the elves in this look like fucking math teachers. They're just, yeah, that dude failed shop with me in high school.
Yeah, yeah.
The only elf that looks imposing and like spectacular is the ranger elf. Is the one that got caught
That
up.
actually does something.
Yeah, yeah. That's the only cat that looks like an elf.
The brother?
Galadriel looks just like the brother.
Yeah, the one, the fade that I can't figure out how he got back in them times. But yeah, that's his line is tight. But yeah.
Dwarven scissors.
That skills, man. But he was in a mine. His fade did not move. But yeah.
Shit. Oh
But
man.
again, he's the only one I like on the whole show. Like we said last, there's nobody I like on that show. That makes me want
Yeah.
to see the next step. There's nobody.
It's getting better. I haven't watched this week's, but my wife and I watched the last one, and it's pretty good. And if you ever want to watch Lord of the Rings and appreciate it, watch Wheel of Time before you watch Lord of the Rings. You'll appreciate Lord of the Rings a lot more. Because my wife has me watching Wheel of Time right now. And it's not bad. The story's good, but the rest of it's kind of like, wah. So.
Wheel of Time looks like if WB adapted Lord of the Rings.
That's what I told my wife. I said, this is Costco's version of Lord of the Rings right here.
This is when you get your Lord of the Rings off Wish.
Yeah.
Like we're out of Lord of the Rings, but we have some Wheel of Time over here.
It's like, start debating. All right, man. Deadpool 3 is apparently going to be a thing. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman put out a couple of good online commercials for it. Looking forward to it. It's a big reset. Everybody's like, oh, Wolverine's dead. Not in the MCU because he's never existed. So it has its place. Is everybody excited for Deadpool 3?
Hell yeah. Hell yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
T's nodding his head. What do you think, man? You
Yeah,
excited?
I mean, there's a whole universe of things they can play with as long as they are allowed to play with things. Like, I just hope that Feige or someone at the top says, "Oh no, they can't make fun of this. They can't make fun of that because these we can't have children thinking that this, that, and the other." So I'm just hoping they don't get cold feet with certain shit. Like if they stick to their guns and say and let Deadpool 3 be rated R. I hope they don't get cold feet and just say, no, we can't do this with these characters and we can't do that. We can't let them suggest, this and that. Like, I don't want them to get cold feet and not let them have their way with the universe. I want them to just take advantage of everything they can because it's such a big universe of characters to play with, and just let Ryan Reynolds do his thing and just pick and pull from everything that they've introduced so far. I mean, that would be amazing if they, just let them have their pick of the litter with characters that have been introduced and just go nuts with it.
I think you're right. Don't handcuff him. Do not handcuff him on this.
Yeah, Hugh was one of my favorite comic castings. Like, I know that we talked about Robert Downey Jr. Giving Iron Man a power up in comics. I think Hugh had, to a lesser extent, did the same thing for Wolverine. Like, he was the shining, the one thing that shined in those X-Men movies, and He's the only reason why I watched that crappy Origin movie. And that was a terrible movie, but like Hugh is always good as Wolverine. He just is. And I'm excited about this. Like I really am. This is like one of the bigger announcements that they've made that I really care about in the last 3 years. Like, I can't wait. What Terrence is saying, I hope that they don't cut this off at the knees and let it be what it can be. The fact that Ryan's been trying to get him to do this for how many years, to come out and do this, and you really can't trust these actors and anything they say now. Hugh was done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Never coming back. And then he's walking through the trailer. Sure, I'll do it. That's great. That's good for business, as some people are saying. Like I can't wait for that. Like the year can't come fast enough. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Hell yeah. Dennis, how do you feel, man? Looking forward to Deadpool?
Uh, Man, it's kind of a tough sell for me. I like Deadpool originally, but as often it's like on TV, and I'm kind of going through Ryan Reynolds' burnout where I've seen him do the same thing so many times that I'm less and less interested in every next thing that he does. Like Red Notice, I didn't even go anywhere near it because between him and Rock's dirty brown shirt, I couldn't just like sit through that. But I'm excited for the possibility of what's going to happen when we see that actor and that character interact with the MCU that we know now. Like, I'm excited to see a conversation between that Deadpool and that Spider-Man, or that Captain America and that, or that Bucky and that Wolverine. I think there's a lot of cool stories that can be told there. At the same time, I'm really hoping that that Disney influence brings up the production value of the Deadpool X-Men universe as a whole, because the thing that I hated most about the X-Men franchise up till this point has been how just budget it seemed to me. Like, I've seen so much bad wire work in those movies that it looked like their stunt coordinator came from Xena, Warrior Princess.
Damn.
So I like the characters. I want to see them in the MCU. I want to see them somewhat restrained and modified by the Disney MCU, just because I really hope that that will filter out some of their own worse instincts and give us a lot better version of those characters.
All right. I like that. Mr. Glover. Mr. Glover. Mike, what do you think, man?
I'm gonna kind of piggyback off what Dennis said. Daredevil, even from the beginning, has never been one of my favorite characters. He's just not. I honestly have never, not Daredevil, excuse me, Deadpool. He's never been, exactly. That's my point. He's never been one of my favorite characters. I've been around Deadpool since the beginning. I've never understood like what happened to make him pop up to be this popular. And none of the old stories, nothing I've ever read is like, this is the next guy that blew up. Like, in the Mutants 98 is worth what, $800,000? I don't get how Deadpool just became this phenomenon in and of it by itself. I don't get it. So, but for the Deadpool fans, I'm excited. I do hope they keep what they loved in it. I want them to get what they want. You know, I want them to get the foul language, the blood. I want them to get everything they want to get. I do want to see the stories, like Dennis said, that they could be told with him and Captain America. You know, I want to see Captain America be like language. You know, I want to see that. But again, I'm not a big Deadpool fan. Now, here's where my other shoe comes in at. I'm terrified of Hugh Jackman being Wolverine again. Terrified. Do I think he was a bad Wolverine? Hell no. I think he was excellent. But I think the potential of him coming in could already set the X-Men up for failure, because he's going to outshine them again. They're going to make this another bunch of Wolverine flicks again. And I don't want that. I want the X-Men to shine. Of course, y'all know I want Cyclops to shine. But I'm scared if they bring Wolverine in, it's all going to be the same. People are going to want all this cigar smoking, this cigar, this Jean Grey with Wolverine type thing. They're going to want him to be the star of every. I just don't want that. I think we had a better chance of getting actual X-Men stories with a whole new Wolverine. Now I'm thinking we're going on the same road. Everybody's happy, but I'm not. I'm not sad either, but I'm scared. I'm scared that we're going, full circle. It's coming right back around. We're going to go to the same mistakes. We're going to go the same Wolverine stories, but under Disney, under the MCU, so it'd be different stories, but the same kind of feel. I don't want that. I want the X-Men. I don't want Wolverine and the X-Men. If I see one Wolverine X-Men movie, that's a title, I'm not going to watch it. I'll tell y'all that right now. I didn't watch the cartoon Wolverine and the X-Men. I didn't read the comic Wolverine X-Men because it was called Wolverine and the X-Men. Disrespectful. I'm not going to see it.
Somehow Mike has made this announcement sound even better to me. Like, I hope he does outshine. I'm like, yeah, I'll take more Wolverine instead of Cyclops. Yeah, it's a damn movie.
I heard they were going to use Wolverine to launch the Alpha Flight franchise.
I'll take anything over him doing the X-Men right now because he's just going the same. We're going the same route. I don't want that. I don't want him in the center, leading the X-Men. I don't want that. No. I let the X-Men be the X-Men. I'd have been okay not seeing Wolverine to phase 37. I'm okay. I didn't need to see. I didn't need to see Wolverine at all. I really didn't. I got enough of it.
At the same time, he's at the same time he's right. Like, if they never did Wolverine again, I would have been happy with that too. Like, I would have been good with that character sort of dying with you. Like, wasn't in a rush to see that one recast. I think we got all the Wolverine stories.
We got enough for another decade. We're okay. And
but now that he's here, yes, continue to outshine Cyclops and have him lead the X-Men into a glorious future in the MCU.
See, they already starting off wrong for me.
We had many weeks without a fight, and now y'all want to pick one.
Well, Jay's off tonight. Like, he kind of picked up the slack of music.
He did. Yeah. Can't pick at the other old man, so.
Said he had something to do. He fell asleep on the couch, man.
It's nap time for Pop.
He said nap time for Pop.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, I'm glad to see everybody's happy about it. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I'm like Ryan. I'm not Ryan Reynolds out. He's not pulling a Dane Cook, because I compare him to Dane Cook, because Dane Cook was just like a bottle rocket, and he just was like everywhere all at once. Then all of a sudden he just fell off. But I did like Red Notice, for the record, Mr. Glover. I like The Rock's dirty shirt. I actually have 3 of those in my closet. They fit well. So yeah.
The only project. I'm sorry. The only, I know what he means with the Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I definitely know what he means. I get it.
Yeah, that one movie that was on Netflix with the time travel.
That was good.
That was a good movie. That was all right.
Nah,
but it wasn't him being the same thing all the time.
It was better than Red Notice.
At 30 minutes in, I was like, "This is my stop. I'm getting off here." Like, I was good. Like, I was okay.
Again, Red Notice is a movie I only watch because I'm talking to y'all. That's the only reason why I finished that movie.
I liked Red Notice.
Why didn't you like that?
It just kept. It was just, again, too much Ryan Reynolds. It kept, like, it was too many twists. Like, it was another twist here. Like, when he was making the wall and then the wall fell down, and like, he was just too many plans ahead. Like, you couldn't plan all that ahead to jump off. It was just too much.
Yeah, that was Ryan Reynolds at his most Ryan Reynolds. I can feel you on that.
Yeah, no.
But for some reason, I was thinking about that the other day, and I still feel personally betrayed by The Rock at the end of the movie. Like, I don't know why. I should have seen it coming, but I still feel personally betrayed by The Rock at the end of the movie.
It was awkward watching him and Gal kiss. It was awkward, and I was angry for obvious reasons. But, like, that, I know what you mean with the twist there at the end. It was like.
Oh, it was too many. It was just every other second. Another twist? Another twist? It's like, really?
The movie was like maybe a half an hour they didn't need in that movie. It was long, but I liked it.
It was not long. It wasn't long.
It was longer than it needed to be.
If
Yes,
Mike
Lord.
Jones stayed awake through the whole movie, it was not long.
I watched it during the daytime. That's the only reason why that shit got watched. No, it was all right.
I'm
Nigga,
gonna
it
go
had
back and watch
action.
that.
It was
It had Gal Gadot. It had my cousin Dwayne in it, and it had
She can only
Ryan
carry.
Reynolds.
She can only do but so much. She's fine, but she ain't enough fine to deal with.
Unless that
much more
movie's an
Ryan
hour and a
Reynolds
half
is.
of Gal Gadot walking away from the camera, I ain't watching it.
There you go. There you go.
Look,
She ain't Halle Berry fine, but she fine though.
Yeah, but
I take care of the house.
No, I
Just
wouldn't do
I
that.
don't
No, I
know.
wouldn't do that.
No, Hallie like is a very pretty woman, but like I can name a good couple. I'd take.
I mean, I could too,
over
but Gal
Halle
ain't one
Berry.
of them. Now, give me Hallie.
Gal is one of them for me.
We ain't gonna fight about that. You take Gal, be all right. You'll be all right.
All right, we gotta compromise.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Oh man. All right, Q, man. You posted a great question in the group about music and soundtracks.
Mhm.
Go ahead and spearhead
So
that, man. That's a great answer in that.
so yeah, as I was I like music about as much as I like comics and movies, and some artists or songs I was exposed to because of movies, TV, and whatnot. Like I gave the example Queen for Highlander.
Which
Like
is a
I
good
would
one.
never been like I love Princes of the Universe, and that made me like look at like the whole Queen
Mm-hmm.
catalog to the point where like I'm a fan. So the question, we posted a group is like what songs, what artists like were you exposed to you like now because of something that you may have seen in a movie, video games too, comics, movies, whatever that led you down the road to like this artist. And like there are a couple obvious ones. Like Transformers was the first one I remember where it's like the music and the movie were just like hand in hand. And I think everyone who's watched that movie will, you can hear one note from any track on that soundtrack, and you're back in
And you already mad at Hot
85,
Rod.
84.
You're mad at Hot Rod
Right,
all over again.
right. And, more recently, Guardians of the Galaxy, both soundtracks opened me up to artists that I, I didn't pay any attention to, but I checked out their catalog afterwards. So that was the question. Like, what do you guys got as far as music that you got turned on to through movie, games, what have you?
Hmm. Man,
Mhm.
I'll take the first one on this one. Kenny Loggins, Highway to the Danger Zone.
Ah, yes,
Yes. Go ahead and laugh.
yes,
Go ahead and laugh.
yes.
I know Glover's over there like Glover's like, oh my gosh. Yes,
That's the
man.
jam, man.
Yes.
My
You
friend
can't
Olivia loves that song. She
you
loves
can't
it.
help but
Like,
do this whenever you hear the song. You just like
yeah,
it was
that's a good
great.
one.
Um
That's still a good one. Yeah.
I'm gonna say I wanna say one of the first Prince songs that I really remember was Purple Rain from Purple Rain. Now, that was amazing. The movie is dated, but it was a great movie because the soundtrack was absolutely amazing. So Prince and Purple Rain. Um, those were still. That's when I was, still young. But those are the two. Kenny Loggins, of course, Danger Zone, and shout out to my dad, Louis W. Johnson Jr. Shout out to you. Eye of the Tiger from Rocky, because he would play that whenever we would work out together, and I would always train with him. That's one of the songs that he was blare on his. Remember the glass case record players with all the shit in it that you could never touch.
All the shit in it. Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
shit.
and
Yeah.
and that's one that was Eye of the Tiger was one of the songs from Rocky. So that
Well,
was
you
me.
you you brought up a good point because I can't listen to Prince music without thinking about Batman, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all him doing that soundtrack. Like all Prince songs take me back to Batman and Thieves in the Temple more specifically. When I hear that, like I'm in Gotham City. Like Prince just we almost forget about that one as a soundtrack. He did that whole one
No,
from
we don't.
from front
We
to back.
hell no.
No. Listen, not you here, but I'm talking about the whole grand scheme of things. Like it was a great album,
Yeah,
but we talk about Guardians, we talk about Transformers, and like what other soundtracks do we bring up? You know, besides those in that media. Like for me, Prince and Batman are like this because of that.
yeah, yeah.
What about
Because
go ahead.
growing
Well,
up, growing up, it was I was mainly into hip hop when hip hop was still considered rap. And so I was always, that was my main level that was my, not level, but my main form of music I listened to all the time was hip hop and R&B. And so Kenny Loggins and, Eye of the Tiger and what's the other one from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, had Morgan Freeman in it and Kevin
What's the guy's
Costner.
name?
Brian Adams.
Brian
Yes.
Adams. Yes. Now, all those songs resonate with me and they stuck with me. But those songs are like gateway songs into other forms of music because growing up listening to hip hop, R&B, and Motown and jazz, as I was younger, these were the songs that transitioned me into listening to other genres of music. And it was great. I mean, everything else just kind of falls into place. Every hip hop soundtrack, New Jersey Drive, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, what's the other one? Poetic Justice. I can go on about hip hop and R&B albums, soundtracks. Boomerang, Soul Food, all the rest of these things that I've always listened to, but the things that transitioned me away from the standard were, the ones that I mentioned earlier.
What you got, Dennis?
Um, my exposure to music has always been through movies. I never listen to the radio all that often. I live in the middle of nowhere where the top 40 radio station here plays stuff that is like, oh, the best of the 70s, 80s, and 90s that wasn't that good in the first place. But the music that I remember, the music that stuck with me, always came through the movies that I watched. And I can remember this all the way back to We Built This City from Jefferson Starship in
Uh-huh.
Short Circuit. And,
Yes.
Ah,
Bat Dance, I think I connected more with Prince and Bat Dance than I did with Purple Rain or any of the stuff that he's way more known for and maybe way better music. But that was my exposure to Prince was Bat Dance. It wasn't the other stuff. But the music that stuck with me, there's like 4 or 5 movies that their whole soundtrack was something I went out and got. And it was music that I listened to all the time. And it was stuff like The Crow and The Matrix that had just bangers on really heavy stuff all the time. But the number one is the Blues Brothers. And the Blues Brothers is probably the biggest accumulation of a really old, really
you more,
solid
Dennis.
R&B, funk, or the soul music and the blues that at the time was not anywhere near as popular as it should be for how good it was. And I remember listening to it and loving the music and loving that as like the second time I saw James Brown because I saw Rocky 3 before I saw Rocky 4. I saw Rocky 4 before I saw Blues Brothers. So when I see the madman that was doing Living in America as the preacher, I lost my shit. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. But then to actually hear how good the song he was performing was, and then going back to it later on and seeing Johnny Lee Hooker and Aretha Franklin and all these amazing artists in this soundtrack or just in this movie as like bit players, I was like, there's nothing that tops that for me. I still listen to that soundtrack now.
shake your tail feather, man. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones off that soundtrack. That was a good example too. The Blues Brothers, fantastic movie. Mike, what you got?
Both of you guys have already mentioned that earlier. I've been sitting on this thing all day and I couldn't think of anything. But for me, that Purple Rain, that whole thing for me, Purple Rain, the soundtrack, that was. I had a cousin, my cousin Kim. I say had, she's still around, but she's a huge Prince fan. But she's always played Prince. But Purple Rain was what really got me into Prince. It really made me love Prince. I've seen Prince in concert at Walnut Creek. Prince was amazing. Oh, I saw him live. He was amazing, and she took me. Matter of fact, but that's what really got me into Prince. And to piggyback what you said about Queen, it wasn't so much the Highlander, because Princess of the Universe was good on Highlander, but if you listen to the whole song, it's weird as hell if you listen to it all. It's got some parts of Princess of the Universe is weird
really
as shit.
Fucking weird.
Yeah,
like Power Ranger.
Yeah, it's like, wait a
and
minute.
stuff like that.
Just give me the 30-second clip and I'm good. But what really got me listening to Queen was Wayne's World. The Bohemian Rhapsody they did in Wayne's World. It made me at least curious to go see what the original version was. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can dig this. And I've always been open to music, to all kinds of music, and it's real simple. We had cable, and MTV was the only thing you can watch. BET didn't come on to 8 or 9. By that time, I'm asleep, so I'm watching rock videos. So I've always been open to all kinds. So, but those two things are the first two movies that pop into my mind about introducing me to different artists. Wayne's World and Purple Rain.
Wayne's World's a good one. Terrence.
Yeah, a lot like what Dennis was saying. A lot of my association with music is through movies and TV shows. Like I'll hear a piece of music and it'll take me back to a scene that I really enjoyed in something that I was watching, whether it was an emotional scene, a dramatic scene, or a really tense action scene. And when I got older, I was able to go back and find soundtracks and scores for movies. So obviously, one of the first things I found when I got older was the soundtrack and score for Transformers, the movie, because that just had a lot of bangers from that time. So when I'm in my car, sometimes I'll just be thinking about it, and I'll go, yeah, I gotta go put on Instruments of Destruction, or another song from the soundtrack or the score of that movie. It'll just take me back to a scene from the movie, and I'll just fucking rock out to that on my ride to work, because I got a 45-mile commute to work. So sometimes I'll just be thinking about the movie and I just go, you know what? I just want to rock out to something that brings me back to a scene in that movie, because I'm just feeling nostalgic that day. And I'm just like, hell yeah, let's go. Another person who I got into through movies and shows, Michael know what I'm talking about when I mention this person, Yoko Kanno. For the anime heads out there, Macross Plus. Yoko Kanno was the composer of Macross Plus. She's one of the best composers out there that I think, period. She's also the composer for Cowboy Bebop. She can compose for any genre, period. If you go, hey, I need something orchestral. Hey, I need something jazzy. Hey, I need something country. She can just go out there and fucking do it. I need a rock score. Like, she just comes up with all kinds of crazy shit. Like, it's amazing what she can do. So I got into her through Macross Plus and then Cowboy Bebop, and she's just been out there doing her thing for like the last 3 decades. Also, I got into Ludwig Goranson. He composed the score for Black Panther. That is an amazing score. Sometimes I'll listen to that, especially I think the music from when he's in the ancestral plane.
That's on my playlist too. That's a good track.
Yeah,
that's a good track.
Yeah, he also did I think he did the music for both Creed movies, I think. Yeah, so he's got there's a couple really good tracks from Creed, especially.
You're right. He did Creed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's one I listen to a lot from Creed too. Actually, it's one that plays during one of the training montages. That's really good. Also got into Huey Lewis through Back to the Future.
Yes, and
Not
shout
American
out to
Psycho.
Jason. Shout out to Jason Richardson. He that was one of his responses. Huey Lewis in the news. That's a good one. And Miles. I keep getting confused. Ludwig. He did the Mandalorian intro too.
Oh yeah,
So
that's right. That's
Oh.
right. Yeah.
yeah. So on the topic of like TV shows, do you guys have any favorite theme music from any specific show that like cartoon or like there are a couple that I'm gonna give you one. Voltron, the original one, that intro music takes me from 0 to 60 and
Mhm.
like that. I love that intro music and the outro music for Voltron. And I do have a weird one. Snake Eater, the intro music to Metal Gear 2, 3. I love that intro. Like if you can look that up, it's an interesting song and I love it. But what you guys got?
Okay. Knight Rider.
Mm.
What's that one with the goofy hero? Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Greatest
believe it or
American
not, you're
Hero.
walking on there.
Oh,
American
that
Hero.
one.
American Hero.
Next American
Greatest
Hero, yeah.
American Hero. The A-Team.
Mhm.
Yes.
Um, and Robotech. When I hear
Yes.
that, that's that. Those are mine from TV shows. You know,
Mhm.
and I want to give a quick shout out to some honorable mentions. Back to movies, real quick. The Lean on Me soundtrack, "Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses.
Mhm.
That I never thought that I would hear that song in a movie with Morgan Freeman in it, but when I heard that, I was like, "This is different," because you had kids like sitting on the table smoking cigarettes and raising hell, and all of a sudden Batman shows up. Not Batman, but and
Used to call me
the whole
Crazy Joe. Now they call me Batman.
Joe Clark. Yeah.
Yeah, used to
yeah.
call. Yeah, yeah.
But
Smoke crack,
looking
don't
at
you?
You smoke crack. Yeah, that's it right there. That's it.
Favorite scene. They smacking around. What's the kid? Kid Ray, and he took off and he disarmed the guy with the knife and just knocked him out with one punch. And like I love that movie. And
it's a great movie.
it's a great movie. And
You can
that was
probably right
back when
now
I wanted to
sing.
be a teacher.
You probably all of us right now can probably sing the East Side High School thing,
Oh
you know,
yes.
but we don't know our
Oh
own high
yes.
school song. But we all
Oh
know East
yes.
Side High. We can get it in
Yeah.
harmony. Fair East. All of us can do that shit right now. But I couldn't. My own alma mater, I couldn't sing that shit. You pay me. I don't know.
Nope.
Oh,
No, but that was me. I just want to give a quick shout out to that soundtrack because it was amazing. It also had Big Daddy Kane on it. It had Stetson Sonic and Guns N' Roses. That's a great mashup of music. So you heard my TV. So Dennis, what you got for TV, man?
The first cassette I ever bootlegged myself that I recorded from another cassette was a compilation of Mike Post TV theme songs. And it was stuff like Magnum PI and Hill Street Blues and all of those old, like late 70s, early 80s
Wow.
must-watch TV that were just, I don't know, seminal for what you would picture for TV in that era, where it was stuff that you just instantly recognized it as soon as you heard like the first three notes and you knew what the show was and you knew the intro just from hearing that. And that's, being familiar with the music through the other media. Now, going back to movies again, because there's one, everybody's talking about Queen, but nobody mentioned this one. The Flash Gordon soundtrack was a beginning to end Queen.
Yeah.
Wow.
And not just that goofy theme song, but the whole thing was Queen music.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, man, that get you hyped right now thinking about that. Yeah.
Did he have a football? Did Flash have a football?
He played
Yeah,
football
Flash
with
was a
this thing.
football
With
player.
Oh my! I remember he had a golden football and a half-naked woman. I remember those two scenes. Anyway.
Yeah, I think the big question is why in space in this other dimension there was a golden football.
The snap is the reason why.
Terrence and Mike, did y'all give a?
Nah, I'm ready whenever. I'm ready.
Okay.
I got one.
Go ahead.
I got a few. And this song I actually have on my phone. I had to get it off my phone to get the title. Joe Cocker, with a little help from my friends from the Wonder Years.
Yes.
I play that.
Oh.
I play that regularly on my phone. What would you, man? I just when I'm mellow, work's been kind of stressful. Sometimes I need something to get me down because I've read kill customers. So I'll play that, and the kid in me, growing up in the neighborhood, Saturday mornings, Fat Albert. Intro, outro, even when they did the little band and Rudy was the only guy that had his own instrument. We used to try to make our instruments like the Fat Albert crew. Hey, what? Yes, man. That was, I still love that. And I got one more, and I meant to write it down, but I forgot. Y'all remember Schoolhouse Rock? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Schoolhouse Rock is good. The one 3 is a magic number, but not the one from the Schoolhouse Rock version. Later on, they did a rock version by Blind Melon. That version of 3 is a magic number.
Yes.
That version, I play that probably every day. that version I play all the time.
That song came out on an album called Saturday Morning Classics. Mm-hmm. And not only is it that, but there's a bunch of other artists that cover that same kind of music. Mm-hmm. And Sublime does a version of the Hong Kong Phooey theme song.
Oh, really?
That might be one of the best songs ever recorded.
I have to hear that one. I haven't heard that, but I would check it out.
Yeah. Wow. Man, y'all are bringing back some memories now, man. That's great. I love it.
Music ties in. Go ahead, Terrence.
Yeah, so TV shows, because I already mentioned her, Yoko Kanno with the Cowboy Bebop theme song. A-Team, Knight Rider, piggyback off of Lou, Greatest American Hero. That used to be my shit back in the day. What else? Perfect Strangers theme. Love that
show.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh man! All right, I got to add in. I'm sorry, T. Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. I'm still thinking.
I was the Cosby Show changed their song every year, but we all know.
What's your favorite season?
Oh man, it was when it was just all
favorite season
trumpet.
Opener.
Yeah, it was all trumpet. It was the all trumpet one, and they had the tuxedos on, and they danced through the whole time.
The Harlem background was season 6. That's my favorite too. Yeah, that was the best intro. Yeah,
that was.
I think they used that one. Yeah, one season. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You talking about 2 different ones? You talking about tuxedo? You talking about one that had the kids graffiti?
It was Claire had like this yellow sash. It was the first season with
she was
Denise was there with her husband. It was the first. I think it was the only season he was in the opening credits. Yeah.
And Raven Simone.
I hated Martin.
Right.
Hated Martin.
Yeah.
Everybody hated Martin.
Well, he stole my woman. Shit, piss on Martin.
He was just so he was forgettable. He's forgettable. And he ended up with Halle Berry in Strictly Business and Denise. He had a good Denise, 90s career.
Yeah, he had.
And back to what Dennis said, when Dennis mentioned Magnum PI, it made me think about watching Magnum PI with my mom. And it was and he would always jump over
coming through.
Yeah, yes. Oh man, that brings back memories.
I love that intro. Couldn't stand the show. I could never get into the show.
There were a couple
I don't think I've ever watched one episode of Magnum, honestly. I don't think I ever watched one full episode.
There are shows like that where I watch the intro and then I leave. I've come to see what I've come to see, and I'm goodbye.
He's not going to get better than that.
Yeah, that was it.
It's all downhill after that.
Yeah, back when you couldn't skip intro. He's like, nah, you can't do that. You got to watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna play with GI Joes for 45 minutes until the show's done. Then I'll come back and watch Airwolf with you.
It was like, oh, MASH is over. All right, cool. Come back in the room.
Yeah, and so we talked about singers. There are a couple of composers we got exposed to. Alvin Silvestri, he did a lot of Avengers. Back to the Future, a lot of Predator, Forrest Gump. He has a lot of good instrumentals. Hans Zimmer. Let me see with this Hans. He has a song on, or a track, I should say, on Man of Steel, what are you going to do when you're not saving the world? Like, if you haven't heard it, like, listen to it. That'll get you going in the morning. But these shows like have like exposed me to that too. Some people like in the office like, oh, you listen to Hans Zimmer. Like, what piece of art do you like? Like, I like the scene. Well, I like the music that's playing when Superman's kicking the crap out of this guy. That's the track that I like. And not to get too, they were expecting a different answer, but like all these composers, like I get exposed to through the movies and the emotion from the scene and everything. Kind of know what Terrence was talking about. You tie music with certain scenes, emotions that are tied in, and you just never forget them. And one more thing, all the shows for Marvel on Netflix had excellent intros,
Oh yeah.
and the Defenders, which was say what you want about the show, that intro music is very, very good. It's my favorite out of all those shows.
Luke Cage
Uh,
is my ringtone still.
mm, that was a good one
Wow.
too. Yeah, Iron Fist had a good intro too, despite the season one debacle. All of them were really good.
despite the whole rest of that show.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got one more movie real quick, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm saying this with J Pat too. The Anvil of Chrome by Basil
Basil
Palladius. Have you seen
Polidorus.
it? Yeah, there
Yep.
you go.
I was just going to mention that when you guys got
Yes,
done.
that stays on regular play too, and I love that song, and it's just
You want to
perfect.
motivate a bunch of kitchens, you put on Envelope Crom and listen to everybody like kind of perk up and look around because they recognize it and they
Uh-huh.
understand the theme behind it without knowing what the music is. But
Mm,
everybody starts pushing that wheel a little bit harder.
Now I'm gonna look it up. You said Anvil of Chrome?
Crom,
Anvil of
yes.
Crom.
Yeah, I've shared it to the group 100 times. Yeah, this.
Yeah, and
There
if
you
you
go.
look up Basil Polidorus himself, you'll see stuff like uh, both Conan movies, RoboCop, Crocodile Dundee, Hunt for Red October,
Mm.
Oh,
Les Mis. There's
no
just a
way.
bunch of movies that you won't associate with really good music, but are all from this guy. And it's always
Yes.
that stuff, that hook that's in the background that you're not really paying attention to, and it's through him.
Oh my
I'll check that
gosh.
out.
Look at that. Oh my, yeah. I just pulled it up on Amazon Music. I've heard most of this stuff. That's pretty amazing.
And the Anvil of Crom is beautiful. I just sometimes watch the intro of Conan over and over. Have you seen the intro when they pour the sword and come on. I wish Jay was here just for this. I promise you. Jay can get off his nap right now and get on. Jay just so he can feel it. I'm telling you, you listen to this is the beginning of Conan. When he pour that sword, no, when he says, how does it start? I can't think of it right now. But he's like,
Come on, man. You on a
before
trivia show right now. $1 million
before the
question.
ocean sunk Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Ares, there was an age undreamed of. And unto this comes Conan, destined to bear the jeweled crown of Apollonius on a troubled brow. It is I, his chronicler, who alone can tell thee of his saga. Come, let me tell thee of the days of high adventure. Doom, 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 doom. Oh my shit! I got goosebumps. Oh my god!
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yes, Lord.
Mike about to
Dun,
pass out.
dun.
Yeah, he's in church right now.
Woo! I got goosebumps. I'm telling you. Oh, I got goosebumps. I love that song.
I'm gonna add
Love
that
it.
to my playlist. I
It's,
really
it,
am
that's
because right
yes.
now, yeah, that's
Sometimes that
amazing
takes me to
stuff.
work to get hyped. That takes me to deal with these damn customers. What is the riddle of steel? That gets me there sometimes.
Mike, what is best in life?
What is best in life? To conquer your enemies. The human elimination of their women. No, I can't think of it right there, but yes.
The
To
limitation
crush
of
your
women.
enemies,
Uh-huh.
to see them
See
driven
them
before you, and hear the
Yes.
lamentation of their women.
Yes.
Look at that! Look at that!
Man, I'm telling you, I could do this. I got yes, Lord. Y'all know I love Conan. I love Conan. I love it.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it,
Yeah,
man.
that's it. I'm a big Conan fan.
Y'all remember
Yeah.
the '90s when they were just making? They were basically making movies just to make soundtracks.
Yeah, the Def Jam. They were like big demo tapes for new artists that they
Yeah.
were coming out with. They had nothing songs that really had nothing to do with the movie. They just
No,
might
I
be
mean,
playing in the background
yeah,
of the movie when they're moving through a building.
Like
Um,
Suicide Squad.
pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah.
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
I think of '90s music, and it's like uh, what was it? Poetic Justice. I mentioned that before. New Jersey
New Jack
Drive. I mentioned that
City.
before. New Jack City.
New Jack City, yeah, that's just a soundtrack.
Boomerang had a banging soundtrack. I don't
Boomerang
care what you
did.
say.
Yeah.
They did. Soul Food had a banging soundtrack. That Mama
Any
song.
Jet Li movie made in America.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention Blade. Everybody knows the intro to Blade.
Mm.
You hear that eat. You automatically
Yeah.
it's on. It's on. I'm trying to cut people's heads off. But
You know what? Uh, soundtrack instrumental I found recently that's really pretty good. Ninja Turtles, 1989. That had some really good instrumentals. The music playing during some of the battles, especially the last one at the end when the turtles were fighting short on the roof. That had a background, good background
Shredder
music
whooped
playing.
their ass on that roof.
He did. But hold on, I'm gonna find this song right now because I have it up. It is Shredder's Last Stand. That's the name of the track. Shredder's Last Stand.
we all
And
know the Turtles' best song was with Vanilla Ice. We can all agree with
Go
that.
Ninja,
Ninja
go
rap.
Ninja. Go.
why we
Now, I
always
don't want to
forget
get
about
into this
that?
story. I don't want to get into this story too
No,
deep. But
you already in it.
before I got married, we went to a club. And one of the girls performing in that club danced to two songs. And one of them was the Ninja Rap.
No way.
She
You
did the
stayed?
steps. She did the steps.
Yeah, that was the best part of the
Wow.
night.
Jeez.
What kind of dancing was it? Is it no?
You don't
Was
remember
she
the
was she making it clap the ninja rap? Is that what was happening here? Because he alluded the club part. I'm like, wait a minute, there's something else to that.
The listeners couldn't see the quotes. They couldn't see the quotes.
Yeah,
No, it was
Make it clap the Ninja Rap.
I would pay for that. Yeah, that
it's
was
like
worth
she
the price of entry.
requested Vanilla Ice, but then didn't know another Vanilla Ice song to go along with it. And
See,
that
they
was the
can't get
one that
too
they
many.
came up with.
I think I only know two Vanilla Ice songs too.
Play
And
that
that's
funky
Ice
music, Ice Baby.
and the Ninja Turtle song. Okay,
That's three count
yeah,
now.
we got three.
Yeah.
Now we got three. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say
All
it,
right.
and
Look,
I might get bashed forever, and I don't care. I'll stand on this till I die. Ice Baby is better than the Queen version. I said it. Whatever the name of the Queen's version is, I'll say it. Yes, it is.
that's
Queen David Bowie version.
Yeah.
what's the name of that
Baby.
song that they took
Under
that theme
Pressure.
from?
That one.
Under pressure. Under pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, give me Ice
Down that
Baby.
hill alone.
Huh? That's all right. I've been alone before. I've been alone before on these hills before. I'll stay
You
on
go
that one.
down that hill. You go die
I'll
right
be
on
here
that
by
hill.
myself. I'm all right. I done been here alone. I've said that before online in group. Ice Baby. I play it all day long, and I love Queen. I do. I love Queen.
I don't
Ice
think you love them
Baby.
enough to.
And,
Okay.
'cause Ice Baby wasn't a bad song. It got later on got bad hype, but Ice Baby dropped.
Yo,
Come on.
well,
That's the
there
shit
was
back in the day.
Yes.
there was plenty of dudes with all that
Yeah,
shit cutting
what
their
the
head.
white guys went off when Ice Baby came out.
They
What,
went
had
in
the
hard.
Fade, they had the parts and the cuts. Shit, it was over. You
They
couldn't tell them
went
white boys
in
shit when Ice
hard.
Baby came out. It was
couldn't.
over.
They had the
Apparently
pointy
you.
shoes.
Apparently you either. Like when
Yeah,
that
I
song
loved
When
came
that-
out.
I loved it.
When that song came out, I was living in Bensonhurst at the time. And every dude in that neighborhood was wearing Zubaz pants,
Yeah.
had
The pointy
high-
shoes.
Patent leather
high-
shoes on.
Yeah. If it wasn't flip flops with socks.
Yeah.
Oh,
And a very tall dyed mullet.
Yeah, man.
Specifically
Oh,
from that.
I'm gonna give you two more songs. I'm gonna go to the answers that we were given One
Oh
more.
shit! Yeah, I
The
forgot about the answers.
Well, I didn't want because I was badgering people for answers. I want to make sure I read those. The Lonely Shepherd from Kill Bill Volume One. I love that instrumental
Oh, that whole
uh,
soundtrack.
and Reading Rainbow intro, old school man. Like that's classic TV right there. I
Yeah,
had that on a playlist. Now we'll turn
Very
it up.
wholesome. Very wholesome.
Yeah,
yeah. That
ride
one
through
was a
West
1, 2, 3, 4,
Philadelphia.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That one
Electric.
there.
That yeah, the electric company.
Yeah,
Hell
man,
yeah,
that was it.
that
All
was.
right,
Oh man,
so Kiana had what did she give us? She gave us Ed Sheeran.
Ed
Ed
A
Sheeran.
Sheeran.
song that
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
Sharon. Okay. She heard this on Vampire Diaries. Demetrius gave us Skepta. He heard a song from this group, I assume, from FIFA Street 2 from a video game.
Oh,
Uh, Mike Green gave a good one. Last Mohican soundtrack. Now there is one track I listen to all the time. My brother actually just put me back onto this called "The Kiss," and that was the track that was playing when the dad was chasing down the guy after he killed his son. That instrumental that was playing. Last of the Mohicans is good. Jason gave us Huey Lewis in the news. Danny Elfman. He went to the composers. Danny Elfman who did Batman, Hans Zimmer, John Williams.
oh yeah, John
James
Williams did
Horner.
all the
Star
Chicago
Wars.
movies.
Superman too. Um, Dennis Glover, our special guest, gave us The Crow, Tank Girl, The Mask, the Jim Carrey one.
Yep.
Okay, I have to take a look at that. Matrix. Oh, Ghostbusters is a good soundtrack.
Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah. Gabriel gave us Die Antwoord because of District 9.
District 9 did have
Uh,
some spooky shit, man. That's good.
District 9, which one is that? The aliens?
Yeah, the aliens like
Yeah.
took over L.A.
Okay. Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
no, no. It was the aliens in a ghetto in South Africa.
Was it South
Yeah.
Africa? Why do I think it was
Yeah.
Los Angeles? I don't know.
I know which movie you're talking about, Lou.
Yeah.
It's
But
something
Die
Los
Antwoord was
Angeles.
they're like a
Metals?
techno house
Metals?
group, but they're both from South Africa and they were in that movie.
Oh, okay.
That
All
skinny,
right.
pasty little girl and the big tattooed guy, that's them.
Okay.
The
Okay.
prototypical post-apocalyptic people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They look like they got 8 in the Thunderdome.
Mark gave us Purple Rain.
Hell yeah.
Degrassi, Next Generation. I thought that was Star Trek: The Next Generation. Glad I didn't assume. Smallville.
Uh-oh.
This is the greatest American hero. He said Bosom Buddies. That was a good song. That was a good intro music.
Old Tom
Into the
Hanks.
Spider Verse. Yeah, that was my first exposure to Tom Hanks, that show, and Into the Spider Verse, which was a very good soundtrack. That was a good soundtrack. So that's what we got today from the group. This is our favorite part of the
Yeah.
podcast is reading the
Hey, real quick
questions.
before we move on, I think Lou kind of hinted on it a little bit, and this is my first time hearing this song on the Cosby Show. Is that "Night and Day" by
Oh yes. Ray Charles.
The
Ray Charles?
what's
I had
that?
never heard that song before the Cosby
Right
Show.
time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Before they were
Yeah.
singing and Claire was making that thing pop. That was the first time I heard that song.
It's
Go
not a
back and watch
wholesome
that
song.
video. Go back.
Listen to it.
Yeah,
Yo, I
but
know
still, watch
exactly what you're
Claire
talking
dancing
about.
though.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I had noticed that when I was a kid, but watching as a grown, like, damn, Claire, go ahead.
I I noticed it. I'm with you. I
Man,
am with
I
you.
mean, for all of what happened to Bill and what his life, man, the Cosby Show exposed us to a lot of music, man. I mean,
Mhm.
it was great jazz. I grew up listening to jazz and blues, bunch of Miles, bunch of Coltrane, but that just drove it home, and it was like Thursdays at 8 o'clock. I knew where I was, and so
Mhm.
yeah, it was good junk, man. Man, y'all brought back some great memories. I'm gonna have a playlist full of some wild shit next week. So
I already got I got one. my multiverse melodies
Look at
right
this.
here, Spotify. I throw them all in. I threw Conan in there. I
Do, do,
put it
do,
on. Now
do.
listen, that's this while I'm working.
Hell yeah.
Video game stuff too. Real quick. The Last of Us had good tracks on there.
Yeah.
Star Wars, of course. What's this? Ghost of Tashima.
Yeah. Ooh,
And
I love the
Destiny.
flute music in that. I love the flute music.
That's
I finally
yeah.
beat that game last week, man.
What? Ghost?
Yeah, finally sat down and finished it. I was at 75%
Sheesh.
forever, dude. I was at 75, and I'm bad because quick pause for the cause. Almost all of my AAA games, I get like 75% in, and then I just like shelf them. And so last week I sat down and said, I'm just going to finish this game out. And I agree with you. I remember we talked about it on the podcast. You said I hated the ending. I hated the ending too. I did not like
Did,
it. It
did
had.
you? What did you choose? We're a year. Like, it ain't no spoilers. This
I,
has
I
been
chose. I
a
chose
year
to
or
kill
two.
him. I chose to kill him.
I let him go.
No, I chose to
I let
kill
him
him
go.
because that's what he wanted. He's a man of honor, and if you'd have let him live, he would have had to live without honor, and he would have been trying to die himself any damn way. But I just chose to off him. But I just, Anyway, I finished the game. Great soundtrack. Moving on.
Okay, that's all we got for the music. Like again, like the music. For me, it ties in with everything that we talk about every day on the page. Through soundtracks, background music, intro, outro music, whatever. Like it, you know, it's it's a part of the game. But
I've
that's
got a
all.
suggestion for an obscure
Uh,
game soundtrack out there.
what?
Muramasa the Demon Blade.
Hmm.
Check it out.
Okay. Morimasa, the Demon Blade. All right. Noted. Wow. Okay. I love the question. That was definitely off the reservation with that one. I really dug that. All right, freestyle time. We're gonna throw some feces out in this universe, man. I'm telling you. Last week we had
What
a
up?
we had a short, not really short debate about the movie Boomerang, and the status of Holly Berry versus Robin Givens in 1992. And I'm gonna stick to my guns. Me and Mike Jones sticking to our guns on this one, man. Holly Berry was definitely hotter than Robin Givens in this movie, but they dressed her up like in a sandwich bag for the most part. So
You say it
So
again, Lewis. You say what now? Not Lewis. So you say Halle Berry was what?
Holly Berry was hotter than Robin Givens.
Was
I
hotter,
think.
and I didn't say that. Not in this movie.
Well,
I didn't. That's what I thought. No.
no,
all
was
right,
that
then it's just
Jay?
me.
I
No,
might have
it
been
was
Jay.
somebody else.
The
I don't
elder.
know. I
No.
Elder. I think she was. That's just me. I mean, I'm not a big flash and flare. I'm not a big fan of her type of person. And so a woman of Robin Givens' status and just all of her done upness is not something that I'm down with. I like grounded people, man. And I just thought she was hotter, and that's just me.
I
Put
think
it like this.
overall, like, go ahead, Quincy.
I 100% understand why Eddie Murphy lost his mind
Whew.
in that movie. Okay, like I get it.
Hey, my man sucking
Uh,
his thumb.
yeah. So like I think again, like her peak, and I'm not doing this to like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm saying the woman had it going on in Boomerang and the movie afterwards, which is another good movie, Rage in Harlem. Like she was beautiful in that movie, and like I just think she had it going on at that time, even over Halle Berry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
That's
that's
just
it.
what. But
I
that's it.
agree. And that movie, I don't think they're interchangeable. Like we were saying earlier, they're not. Robin Givens in that movie, and when he first saw her, when she was at the magazine stand, and she
Yeah.
flipped her head back, and he was like, "Woof!" I was like, "Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, my brother." Oh my goodness, she
I'm
had
a bit.
yes.
No, I'm dead ass. She was too bony, man.
I like Slim Chick. She's fine with me.
She
I
was
ain't had that. She Halle Berry won't thick. That was it. She won't thick. This she was the
a book
same.
of no. They won't. They probably no.
She
In
had
the
5
fight,
pounds.
Holly Berry was fighting down on that one because Robin Givens was bony.
Robin Givens was just right in that movie.
No,
It was nothing wrong with Robin Givens in that movie at all.
She needed some biscuits.
When she
was
opened
the
that
last.
rope,
She was the last bowl of porridge, Mike.
man, look, when she came late for the party and she opened the jacket and she was in her drawers, stop it. You ain't got no clothes on. Nope.
You ain't got no drawers on. Yeah, you got no clothes on.
You know you was wrong. You came in your drawers.
Yeah, came over here in your drawers, yeah.
Eartha Kitt ain't have no drawers on either, man.
Oh, man.
Marcus did what he's supposed to do. I'm going to stay there my hill on that too. I'm down that hill alone, too. Marcus did what he's supposed to when it come to Lady Eloise.
She has no power.
And he didn't know that. He's supposed to have did what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to knock the dust off that old lady. I swear he was supposed to do that. I support Marcus in that. He was right.
I hate you for that. Oh my gosh.
Marcus was right. Yes. He need a shirt for that one too. He's supposed to have did that.
Oh my gosh. Oh. All right, so Robin Givens' career took a downturn, and then Halle Berry's took an upturn after that whole thing. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but Halle Berry Robin Givens had drama after that. You know, like I say, it was her and the Mike Tyson thing. You know, she didn't really get any other big roles.
I thought this was after
Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
Mike Tyson brought her down, not Mike Tyson.
What was after? This is before Mike or after Mike?
This is after, I thought.
I can't remember.
Terrence, do you know?
I'm about to look it up.
Is this pre or post Mike?
I'm gonna say it's post Mike. Cause didn't Mike? When did Mike go to jail? Like 90? Was it 91?
Oh, I don't know.
What guy you talking about that brought it down, Dennis? What white guy?
No, I'm saying the movie Blank Man, being in that.
Blank Man.
Yeah. See.
I never seen Blank Man, honestly.
Oh my gosh,
what?
It's so dated.
He went to prison the same year Boomerang came out.
Ooh. Coincidence? I think not.
The rumor of him smacking her or whatever, but I think he went to prison for rape though, so some other chick.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine they weren't together by then, right?
Yo, Robin Givens was in the Wiz with Diana Ross. I'm looking at her credits now.
Bull.
In 1978, The Wiz guest at Aunt Emma's party.
Oh jeez. Oh my gosh.
Then she did Rage in Harlem, so that movie was before Boomerang. She did Foreign Student. Blank Man.
Oh. Okay, they were divorced by 89. Okay, I didn't think it was that. I thought it was in the 90s.
Okay, so yeah, that was before Boomerang then.
Okay.
Yeah, she did nothing really after
she head of state with Chris Rock. She was at that. She was funny. And she's still fine. Robin Givens is still fine. Make no mistake.
Yeah, she is.
And now I might choose Halle Berry over her, but it's not like I'd be losing either way.
But we can't ever forget that Halle Berry did Baps. That was that was terrible.
We could try to forget that, but no, we can't.
And she was a great storm. I don't care what y'all say. I went down that hill too.
She was alright.
She took Angela Bassett's role.
See, look at you.
Out of the two that we've had, she was the better one. You know,
that is true.
I wouldn't, but no.
All right, that was my freestyle hill to die on right there. So,
I got something. This is for Dennis. We ask all the guests here, how's your experience been on the Multiverse Unlimited page, man? Like, how'd you end up here? I remember you from previous page. Like, we don't need to go into too much.
Yeah, I came from the dark place.
Okay.
Back when he intentionally called you Glover.
Yeah, I was. I don't want to say one of the first, but I remember getting the invitation when the page was real young and real new, and it's pretty much been the place I go to for this. My outlet for geek culture is pretty much just that multiverse page because, all of the stuff that I'm interested in, all the stuff that I want to learn about is stuff that gets talked about on that page. A lot of times when I'm listening to the podcast, I joke about it being the most enjoyment I get out of disagreeing with almost every opinion that gets said.
That's great.
I love the conversations, and I was friends with a lot of the people on that page before I came to that page, and just being able to follow them and grow the community and grow as part of the community, that's a blast. I mean, I love seeing people get more into the things that they didn't know about, get exposed to new things all the time. I learned a bunch about being on that page, or from being on that page. It got me reading comics again. I quit reading comics for a long time because I just didn't see stories that I was interested in. I'd see little bits and stuff, being on other web pages where people were posting screenshots of panels or pages, and you get like little hints of stories. I bought the previews book for years without ever buying a comic book because it kept me kind of in the loop of what the different universes were doing, what the characters were going through, without having to plunk down like $5 a comic for a story that was just going to end up pissing me off at the end anyway. So, but with like the suggestions that I've heard from this page and all the different debates back and forth, and this happened in this book and this happened in this book, it got me interested in reading some of the stuff again. I went back and started reading Thor and that whole God Butcher saga because of the conversations that were had on this page. Now, I ain't going to get into my thoughts about that particular story, but it was this page and the people on this page that got me interested in reading that stuff.
You say you disagree with most of the things you hear in the podcast. Tell us why you would disagree with Quincy, because he's usually wrong. Tell us why that's...
Now, we were doing good until you said that thing about Daredevil. We almost had a fight.
Daredevil? What the Nightwing Daredevil?
No. White slipping and confusing Daredevil with Deadpool.
Deadpool? Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I never liked Daredevil. You
I want a big Daredevil.
I didn't let you finish that sentence before I was mad about it.
Daredevil. I ain't a big Daredevil fan, but Deadpool, I like him better than Deadpool.
I don't like Daredevil.
Daredevil was one of my first books. I can tell you, I got into comics. I can almost tell you the exact date that I bought my first comic book. Mm-hmm. It was October 20th, 1982, because it was the day after I moved to Brooklyn. The day I moved to Brooklyn was on my birthday. It was October 19th. I was 6 years old. And the next day, me and my mom walked down to the bodega at the corner. They had a little magazine rack, and we got Daredevil books, and we got Fantastic Four books, and they were 65 cents a piece.
Ooh.
That was back in the day.
Yeah. So that was, and from there, we started getting like the subscription, because they had the little thing where they just send a comic directly to your house in a little
I remember that.
paper sleeve. Yeah. So that was my exposure to comics, and Fantastic Four and Daredevil were my first two books. And I kind of like branched out into X-Men from there, but those were my originals. And that was always one of my favorite characters, just because it wasn't one of the like overpowered godly characters. It was a guy from the neighborhood that I was living in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
streets,
an exposure to the community that I was around and didn't know, because I grew up in West Michigan, the first 6 years of my life. And then I'm dropped in the middle of this big city where I went from a normal kid to a latchkey kid in the middle of a city. So then seeing someone that lives in that same city that's a hero, that's not much more than just some dude, and that gave me a little comfort, gave me a little courage to live in that city when I didn't have a lot of other positive influences from other places at the same time.
So is he your favorite? He's your favorite hero? Would you say?
I don't know if I'd say he's my favorite hero. He's probably been like the one I've liked the longest.
Okay, I hear
the problem is I spent so much time thinking about comics that I eventually just got pissed off at everybody that I was reading. The 80s was a really nice time because all these really cool stories happened. But then by the time I'm really starting to digest a lot of this stuff, it's the 90s. And the 90s in comics were terrible.
Everything was extreme.
I thought I'd say the same thing. Team Extreme.
Everything was extremely stupid. Everything was like chromium covers and collector's edition, but nobody knew how to draw feet, and the stories were all stupid, and everybody was trying to act a lot tougher than there was any reason to be. I remember buying a Nomad book because it was the first issue. Yeah, Lou, I see that look.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like Bucky, it was some other like part-time half cap sidekick that went off as Nomad. And I was like, oh, that guy's got a mullet and a trench coat.
shotgun,
he looks
right?
awesome. I'm gonna read that book. And I got one issue into it. I'm like, man, this is stupid. I'm never looking at this book again. And that's what a lot of books were like at that point.
Yeah, there were a lot of disposable characters back in the 90s.
Yeah, 90s were like I stopped reading comics for almost 10 years, late 90s, early 2000, and I got back into them because of Randy Green. But like it was a bad time indeed. But I'm completing this flyer here. So you are satisfied with your comic book service here in the multiverse. So
I don't think Dennis didn't press 7 to complete the survey, man. He just wanted to hang on.
Extremely satisfied. We're gonna put you down for that.
Who is your favorite character, Dennis? Just out of curiosity.
I think lately I've really it's kind of hard to tell. I like Thor as a character, and some of the stuff that I read when he came back from after the Civil War and he was reintroduced after their Ragnarok. I thought that was a really good story, and I really got into that character because it kind of displayed all the things that I always really liked about that character, but hadn't seen before that. Where
is that when he stepped with Iron Man's ass? Is that when?
Yeah, that's the one where he beat the piss out of Iron Man.
Oh, but didn't he beat the brakes off of him?
Most righteous ass whooping in comic book history.
Glorious ass whooping.
I like that series. That whole set was really solid.
Yeah, because he was king, and there was no Odin, and he's kind of at that point now. And I know exactly what you're talking about. That was new ground,
and that was the story that ruined the Thor movies for me, because when Thor, when the bar was set so high in those stories, and then the Thor movies came out and the origin came out and everything about them coming to Earth and doing all this other stuff, I was really hoping that we would see some semblance of that story where it was a huge fish out of water story for that whole society just getting dropped in the middle of like Oklahoma, instead of it being some tourist trap in Sweden somewhere.
Yeah,
and the comic they brought Odin back, which was strike one, and then Loki, because of the popularity in the movies, they started changing him in the comics a little bit. Like he was like when he first came back, he was a woman. He was in Sif's body, and then he came back into his body. Then he was the kid,
right?
And he died, and then he came. Loki probably suffered the most from MCU because he was like a villain, like like evil. Now he's like, this week's comic of Thor. He walked into the throne room with Thor, and they're talking. They're cool now, like they're okay now. But
he went through a kind of redemption arc when they were doing the War of the Realms story, where he was kind of like fighting both sides against each other, and that was. I think I'm in the middle of reading that right now.
Don't you have a Thor tattoo?
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. Nice piece, man. That's nice.
I have one more question for you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Why do you love Elektra so much?
You know what? I went and saw Elektra in the theater. Valentine's Day weekend.
My condolences.
Because I wanted to support the genre. I wanted to see more comic book movies, and I knew if Elektra just completely tanked, even though it was terrible, I still wanted to pay some money to see it because I wanted somebody to be like, all right, maybe that wasn't good, but we can get something good with these characters and we should keep at it. Man, that movie was terrible, though.
I was in love with Jennifer Garner. That's why I saw it. But I'm with you. I saw it in the movie too. I paid for it.
See, I understand that, but you started picking up on something that I was wondering about in the memes, not even the memes, but the Versus posts. She's always in these battle scenarios where we both are looking like, why is she in this mix? Like,
I think she's a character that got a lot of traction, or still gets a lot of traction from her design more than her performance or story.
Yep.
Because you got to remember, the only reason Elektra ever really got famous because she was that first like fridged girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some romance with her and Daredevil, but the only reason anybody cared about her is because Bullseye killed her, and then she was dead, and then it set up the huge fight between her, or between Daredevil and Bullseye.
Now, I got a question for you because you're a Daredevil guy, as it turns out. Now, I read that, right, Bullseye did kill her, and since she's been back, she's after him and makes his life miserable every chance she's get to the point where Bullseye's avoiding her. Is that true?
I don't know. Maybe he's just got Facebook and he sees her too much.
Okay, like I heard it was like a saber
I know that they've gone through the
thing.
rounds a couple of times because
Uh-huh.
she's come back to life more than once too. She's been killed a couple of times, and every time she comes back, it's some new iteration, and there's still beef with her and Bullseye because that's the only story anybody remembers about Elektra is when Bullseye killed her.
I like her in the new Zdarsky run, the most recent one that just started.
Yeah, I know that she's got a place, but there's never been anything that drew me to that character. Every time I've seen her since then, it's been just kind of a rehash of, yeah, I'm back now and I want revenge for this, but I didn't want to read it. It never drew me in. There was never anything about that character that I liked more than her being dead.
Have you tried the Daredevil Zdarsky?
No, I haven't, but I want to start reading them. That was the whole reason. Like 3 or 4 months ago, Xbox Live offered a discount rate on Marvel Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
So I downloaded that, and now it's like $10 a month to unlimited comics.
Yeah.
So I've been catching up on stuff like that. But even better is I got my kids starting to read them. So my kid will sit up with the iPad and just pour through books and books and books. And then when we're watching the Marvel shows and they start doing the QR code in the background, he's hip to that now. So every time he sees a QR code, he's like, stop the tape, stop the show. And he jumps up with his phone and starts like taking pictures of it to read the new thing. That's how he read Werewolf by Night and how he read She-Hulk's first appearance and stuff like that, because now he has the digital savvy to start reading those things.
That's good. Yeah, check out this Zdarsky run, man. He's done some good stuff with Daredevil and Elektra, so I think you'll enjoy that one. Good stuff. Oh man. So, I'm sorry. I'm gonna allude back to where we all met before. Now, you were in some of the fighting tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember any of your teams from back then?
Yeah, I'm sure I do. I always liked picking the people that nobody else even looked at. So it was, I think one of the teams I had was Lobo and the Doctor, or the evil Doctor from The Authority.
Okay. I remember Lobo.
Yeah, I say that, and I see everybody start looking up like, what the fuck?
I remember Lobo,
yeah. So that was one. That's where my hate for Superboy Prime came from.
Oh.
I picked Prime that first tournament. I picked him that first tournament. I can't remember who his partner was, but Prime was my first guy. And then Robert used him and won the next year.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's Mr. Superboy Prime.
Yeah.
It was almost Mike Prime, too. It was either Mike Prime or Mike Adam. That was who it was going to be. That was the best head slap off ever. He slapped the shit out of Panther, slapped their head clean off ever. I was a fan from that point. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Oh, Terrence, man, you awful quiet. Awful quiet. I'm messing with you. What you got for freestyle, man? What you want to throw out there in the universe?
Well, we mentioned earlier before we came on that Blade is in a little bit of trouble because I know the director left. They were talking about scheduling conflicts. I don't know why you have a scheduling conflict with a movie you've been contracted to be directing for I don't know, however long. You would think that when you got a major blockbuster Marvel movie on your schedule conflicts would be all, tucked away. Like this ain't just this ain't like a little TV show you're doing. This is a fucking major blockbuster MCU. So yeah, I'm not buying the whole schedule conflict thing. And then we got this. This is on IGN here. An industry insider named Jeff Snyder was told that the current Blade script is roughly 90 pages and features exactly two lackluster action sequences. And
no.
he's been told that Mahershala Ali is said to be very frustrated with the process, and Kevin Feige is said to be spread too thin. But hey, that's just what his sources are telling him. Don't shoot the messenger. Now, I've been worried about Blade for a little while now because this was announced 3 years ago, and they haven't started filming the thing yet. And Mahershala is 48. I know black don't crack, but like, come on, he's 48, and we haven't started shooting this thing yet. And he's half immortal. I mean, he's going to start aging at some point, and you figure like after this first movie, he's going to start popping up in a few more projects over the course of however long these next few phases are going to be. So you want to get the ball rolling, and I'm sure he's got other projects he wants to do, and as they keep pushing this back, he's got things he has to turn down. This is a guy who's got 2 Oscars on his shelf. You keep making him have to turn down projects to keep pushing this back. I'd be frustrated too if I was in his shoes. And I've been concerned about this thing just because of the fact that, along with him being the age that he is and wanting him to carry an action franchise, I'm not worried that he can't do it, but ordinarily you'd get you get a younger guy to get the ball rolling so that as he ages, it's not so obvious as the years go on. This is a action intensive role. You would think this isn't like Robert Downey Jr. just being in a CGI suit. Also, this is a series that's transitioning from like the R-rated New Line movies to what's obviously going to be PG-13. You're not going to be getting by on blood and guts here. You have to have really good action to make up for the fact that you can't have the type of blood that we had with the older movies. So hearing that they've only got what's being written down here as 2 lackluster action scenes and only roughly 90 pages. We're used to these Marvel movies being 2.5 hours. 90 pages of script typically comes out to 90 pages of movie. So unless they wrote down, okay, this action scene needs to take up 20 minutes of movie, and this other action scene needs to take up another 20 minutes of movie, like, yeah, we got a real problem here. So I don't know if they're gonna, and them losing their director like like 6 weeks before shooting, it sounds like Feige is really spread thin between the movies and the TV shows, and like we've been saying this for a while now with the lack of quality in some of the TV shows and the phase for movies. So this seems like the most obvious one so far as them not being able to get their shit together, because at least the other things have come out. This has been the one project where like they really can't get their shit together. It's getting pushed back, and now it's looking like it's going to get pushed back yet again. They just can't get the ball rolling.
Man, and they also are going to make, what is it, Armor Wars into a movie now instead of a TV show?
I think that's better because the TV.
Yeah, I just read that article, and I was once again let me go on record disagreeing with Quincy. The idea of it going from
it's fun to do that
TV show to a movie, that kind of bums me out, because the whole appeal of that story in the first place to me was getting a chance to run through this kind of monster of the week story where we get to see all of the ridiculous D-list, just absolute shit villains that started off as Tony Stark enemies that stole his technology. are we really going to get a good feature of the unicorn in Armor Wars movie, or is it going to be just kind of like blasting through guys like Crimson Dynamo or something like that real fast? I wanted this to be a show because I wanted it to be goofy as hell. Because after the death of Tony Stark, it kind of opens up the opportunity for kind of like the Wrecking Crew, where you get to see these really goofy characters that didn't really deserve a huge spotlight at least get some screen time in a way that will get some use out of the character instead of it just being um, trying to make them into something more than what they ever actually were.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw the disagreement back. Like I'm tired of the goofiness. Like I really am. Can I get some high stakes? Can I get some kind of drama? Like I don't. Marvel's TV shows to me they've been average to okay. Like the movies seem to have like a fighting chance. Like for what we say about Phase Four, there were some movies that were enjoyable. I'm glad this is going to a movie. Like instead of them stretching, we've said this before. Like this could have been wrapped up in 6 episodes instead of 8, or 4 instead of 6. Like give me 2 hours, give me a nice movie, and I'm happy. Let Don get his movie, which I mean I don't want to say he's old, but like Don has been here since Iron Man 2.
Too.
He's been here a minute. Like he give him his movie, man, and let him be done if he chooses to stay done. Get it off of Disney Plus. I'm one of those people. I don't like how the Wrecking Crew was used. I don't like how they grab names for no real reason. But like it just, I don't see the point of some of the things that they do. I just don't. I just think it's silly. And I'm gonna use the word again. It's just fluff.
I want you to use the word soothiness
Just,
again.
no, that's what was that? Lord, the Rings of Power that had the soothingness,
Soothiness.
the put you
I
right to
like that
sleep.
word. I
Yeah,
like that word.
you just reminded me of it. I'm gonna try and make a note to use that more. Soothingness, but that's me. Yes, I hear what you're saying. But
Yeah, I think there's definitely plenty of room to go and do both. You know, one of the problems that we have with the MCU shows is that there doesn't seem to be enough material to cover the time.
nope,
Where we're worried
That's true.
about shows starting to drag because they're just not doing anything. And if we round out some of that time with D, E, F list characters that, are going to pop us because we recognize them, but then introduce a little bit of a story element, that's probably a good use of that character. Because you got to remember, we're dealing with hundreds and hundreds of characters in their lexicon, and not all of them are going to get or deserve the screen time that's allotted. So
well,
it's going to be like bang for your buck. How can we use this character or this opportunity to display a character instead of just making up a new character to say 3 lines and get a little bit more out of it? It's going to sell a toy to have 4 or 5 silly extra armor villains in that movie or in that show because it's a chance to do it. We can still have a big bad guy. We can still have a dramatic story, but that big bad guy is going to need some peons that have to get fought and beat up in Act 1 and Act 2. And
well,
why
I
not
think you.
use those goofy characters for that?
Okay, so you do have a point with the time. So do I think Moon Knight would have been better as a movie than as a show? What was that? 6 or 8 episodes of Moon Knight? Did we need 6 hours of Moon Knight, or hour and a half, 2 hours
We didn't need
and a
no
tight
Moon Knight.
story?
No.
I really remember what we were saying with Moon Knight. Like, how are they going to wrap all this up in
the
It was a
time that they have
gun.
left. And they said, let's not.
Moon Knight should have been a guest star. He should have been a
Luke
guest
said,
star in something.
no,
He
Luke,
shouldn't have
Luke
got
just
his own
said it's
show.
like we're going to shoot him. We're going to shoot him, and we're just going to nip this in the bud. After all that, and there was another show I'm thinking of. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier would have been a good movie too.
Yeah, I
I
did
think
like
it
that
would've
show
worked.
though.
I
That
did
show.
like it. I did. I just think it's too much time for some of these things. I think She-Hulk.
Yeah, I think it's a bad use of
do it
the
a little
time
now.
because I don't know that we needed Moon Knight at all. You know, what's your favorite Moon Knight story from the comics?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
When that was happening, my favorite Moon Knight story is when he's guest starring on Spider-Man's comic,
That's what I'm
and
saying. He could have been a guest star in any movie, but he didn't need
Yeah,
his own show.
I think anybody that wrote or worked on production of Moon Knight knows Moon Knight from the memes that show up in other platforms. It's not like
Yeah.
anybody cares about Moon Knight. I own 2 Moon Knight books, and it's part of Acts of Vengeance where Moon Knight and the Punisher team up to fight, I think, the Flag Smasher.
I
You know,
have one similar to that. It was Round Robin's Revenge. It was a 6-part and Amazing Spider-Man. He was fighting
yeah,
one of his old. I didn't even know he had a sidekick at one point, and like that
Yeah.
was 6 issues of that. But it was a
but it's Moon Knight.
Spider-Man.
Who cares? I would have been way okay scrapping the entire Moon Knight series and getting another hour and a half of Isaiah Bradley in the backstory
Right
that
there.
was
That's
alluded
what I've been
to
saying.
and not ever touched on.
That's
the thing
exactly
that
what
I-
I'm saying.
That I
That could be a whole show
despised
by
about
itself.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier is that they had just touched on this little bit of really heavy lifting where the really important, really good story was underneath all that other stuff. And then they just kind of blew past it. And I really, really hope that that's something they come back to in New World Order because I think it's a better story and a more important story than anything else they've done.
Well, they work, to your point again, they work towards moments. They get there, sometimes not even organically. It's almost forced sometimes. But they get to the moments and then that's it. And you're
Yeah, then they just drop the moment and walk away from it
right.
like
You're
nothing
like
ever happened.
wait a second. Yeah, like wait a second. Can we go back to that? Like that was kind of interesting. And like you said, they just leave it. And that just might be a Disney thing, honestly, because it's the same thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi. That could have been, what did we say, 2 hours instead of the 6 hours?
Yeah, Kenobi was kind of. There was like 2 episodes in the middle that just didn't need to be there.
Right.
Yeah, but at least Mandalorian didn't show up in it.
We hoped he did.
to save the day. Yeah.
Shit, man.
Break
Shit,
out
my-
Mandalorian in case of emergency.
Got to, man. Mando's an emergency person. Anything you want to throw out there, Mike?
Nah, I'm pretty good. I think we didn't tap on everything. I didn't
Tap.
rode on the coattails of every conversation. I don't have anything new to throw out there. No, I have anything.
I
new.
will say one thing for you.
Sure you do.
Like, Dennis, like it was great, like having you on here, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're going to have you back. I promise.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
like
I appreciate it.
You were great, man. I'm glad you accepted and appreciate the conversation. Got to talk some comic books tonight.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know a little bit.
He said, I know enough to get me hurt. Shit. Well, listen, man, if that's, that was a great show. Once again, Dennis, from everybody on the panel, especially me, thanks for showing up. Thanks for accepting
Thank
the
you. I'd be
invitation.
happy to come back anytime.
We'll definitely have you. I want Rob to be on next time so you can have that prime versus no prime discussion. That'll be a good 20 minutes of pissing that ginger off. That'd be great.
I'm looking at my team. I think it was Robbie battle because I battled Randy Green my first round, and I lost to Randy.
Who did he?
Every year that comes back up in my Facebook memories, and I get pissed about it all over again.
I had Superboy Prime.
Every time that
Randy
shows up,
had.
I'm like, you know what? Screw these people. I'm leaving this group. I don't want to talk to none of them anyway. I'm still mad about this. I believe I have to teach these people stuff. And then the next day, it's not in my memory anymore. And I'm like, all right, fine. Yeah, I like these guys.
Oh, man. That's good junk. Oh man! So from the entire Multiverse Limited podcast crew and our special guest Dennis Glover, we just want to sign off, man. Put a nice little tidy bow on this and tell you again that we appreciate you listening. Without you, we would be nothing. We'd be something, but we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be having as much fun. So from Cosmic Lou, Terrence, T Money, Simon, QP the Source, Mike, Feet Ain't Touching the Ground, Adams, and Dennis Glover. Please remember to be kind to all people that you meet because you have no idea what they're going through. Till next time, holla at you later. Peace.
Peace.